Good evening, good afternoon, Facebook. This is a very special edition of live video training with myself and my guest today, Jim Ziegler. Hello, Jim.
How are you?
I'm doing good. I mean, the sun is shining, and that keeps us going. Yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. The sun is shining here in USA, Georgia as well.
Brilliant. So we've got Wiltshire in England and Georgia in the USA. And what we're going to talk about, what should we talk about? Because when you and I get together, we've known each other. We've known each
Walrus and the Carpenter, ships and shoes and sealing wax, cabbages and kings. What do you want to talk about?
Right. Okay. Shall we start off with, I mean, you've built, well, quite a few things in the time that you've actually been doing this, but since you started to go live, you've built an audience who follow you. And not only do they follow you, they act on what you do, which is basically the proof of, well, it's social proof, isn't it? So would you like to describe your journey on live video, which is where we are today?
You know, I sort of pioneered live video here in the States in my industry, which is the automotive industry. Golly, 2003, 2004, 2005, I was broadcasting with a flip camera in those days.
Oh, the flip. I remember that.
And I'm a professional speaker. I speak to large audiences. I have big seminars, and I was teaching it. And I learned to monetize video very, very early on the electronic mediums. You know, you and I go back to the Academy days. I was the first American black star.
That was the time. That was probably the first. That was Facebook before Facebook and LinkedIn before LinkedIn, because it was established well before them, and it brought together people around the globe, didn't it?
It did. It was a very interesting platform because you could do things with it you still can't do with the platforms we have today. But the video journey, as you asked earlier, you know, I was on Blab and Periscope, and you know, I was looking for what we now have and what I perceived to be coming. You know, because one thing about video, it takes away from flat text. It humanizes you. It makes a person out of you.
Yeah. You can't, if you're on camera, you can't hide. And therefore, first of all, you got to sort of work to gain a presence, haven't you? Yeah.
Well, I have 150,000 friends and followers on the collective social medias.
Yeah.
You have to build up a network of people that like you, trust you, follow you, and you've got to participate with them as well. You got to contribute something to their lives for them to stay with you. And you got to understand these are not profiles on Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram. They're actual people. They live and breathe and they have a life. And you know, to relate to the people that you're talking to in the videos, the most powerful people on earth are those people that influence the most other people. And that has been my credo for many years, that you've got to be able to, and social media, what a great influencer we have here, Stephen. It's tremendous.
It's the opportunity that it's given us to reach out to people and to, well, display our knowledge and share, well, more about share our knowledge, because the knowledge that we've gained over the years is there to help people, isn't it? I mean, we've all been there. We've made all the mistakes. Other people are going to make them too, but we can give guidance on the better way to do things. Yeah.
And this is going to be the new wave. This pandemic has globally changed the entire paradigm. Everything has shifted. I am a professional speaker. I have spoken hundreds of times before thousands of people and collected huge checks. And that is not happening. collective people showing up in one place, that's not happening. This is our communications venue, and we've got to learn to use it. We've got to learn to reach the masses with electronic mediums.
Yet the world has changed, hasn't it? It's going to take a few years for it to return to anything like it was. And I think we now do live in a virtual world, which allows the two of us to connect. But we need a plan of action. Now, how do you go about? I'm just sat here today. How would I go about actually creating a presence?
How do you go about creating a presence? Well, first of all, I have a friend named Rory Vaden, and Rory Vaden says, if you suck in person, you'll suck online.
Okay.
You got to have a personality. You've got to have knowledge to share. You can't be a pretender. People will see right through a pretender. You've got to be genuine. You've got to have knowledge that so many people today out there are broadcasting and are actual frauds. They have a ton of Facebook credentials,
Right?
Yeah. Social media credentials.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you've got to have a passion as well, haven't you? I mean, your passion is for the automotive industry, and
it is. But I care about people.
Right. Okay.
Do you really care about people? It's not about I make the money. The money is going to happen. But if you don't care about the people, and you don't care about, like I say, they're living, breathing human beings. They're not just pictures on a Facebook page. If you really care about the people and you want to contribute and better their lives, you give freely. People say, well, Ziegler, people will steal your content. Well, I can create more quicker than they can steal it.
Well, yeah. I mean, imitation is a sincere form of flattery, and it could annoy, but it doesn't annoy you because, as you say, basically, people know your style, they know who you are, and it's very difficult to actually copy that. And you can create new content, whereas the person who's copying you can't. So that's another good point. Now, in terms of conferences, you've organised a huge number of large conferences. Going forward, what are you planning to do?
That has been a challenge.
Right.
Our last conference was in September.
Mm-hmm.
And little did I know I was planning a conference in January. We were doing 3 and 4 a year. And we were getting 200 attendees at $1,500 a person.
Yeah.
We were getting 20 sponsors at $10,000 or more per sponsor.
Right.
So it was financially lucrative. And all of a sudden that stopped.
Yeah.
All of a sudden that was no more. And it won't be for a while. So I have used the Be Live platform that we're on now. Mm-hmm. And I've got a number of my sponsors that I do broadcasts with. People that sponsored my events in the past and still want to reach my audience.
Right.
And I have contracted, and I tell people out front that I'm financially involved. If you buy this, I will benefit. I don't do anything that appears that I'm altruistic. No, I'm doing this because I'm financially involved. I will tell the audience that every time. And I will say, look, I believe in this product. There's not enough money to get me to endorse or talk about a product or a service that I did not believe in. But I believe this is good for you. And I'll have a split screen as we do now. And I'll be talking to my sponsor. What do you offer? What do you do? Right. Tell me about your company. And anybody that buys from that company, I will receive a commission for life.
Okay. Yep. No, that's basically, we know that multiple streams of income is different from working 9 to 5 for a company. If you can create multiple streams of income, then you become more secure financially. So I want to go on to the next.
Steven, I call that mailbox money.
Mailbox money. Okay. So
every day we run out to the street to see if we have some more mailbox money. Right. Does somebody contribute to the mailbox today? And And I'm telling you right now, it is a high six-digit U.S. currency income from what I'm doing now.
Right. Now,
it is worthwhile.
Yeah, you say interviewing people, but it's not as straightforward as having somebody next to you and you just talk to them. How do you actually go about, first of all, finding the people to interview, and second, getting them comfortable on camera, and then third, the interview itself?
Well, first of all, what is your area of expertise? That's what people have to. This is what I do. This is what I know. I call it running your personal inventory. Honestly, running your personal inventory. Don't delude yourself. Don't be somebody you're not. What is your personal inventory? My personal inventory is I am an expert in automotive. I am a professional speaker. I teach speaking. I teach platform skills. I'm an Eagle Scout. I mean, anything that I have in my personal inventory, I have quantified. And then what value does this have to other people? Who wants to know about this? And then you go to your trade publications. If you're trying to monetize video, which I do, go to your trade publications. Who would sponsor you? Who wants their message out there in your area of expertise? And then contact these people. I can find them on their website. I can find them on social media. I can, Oh, hello, Andrew.
Andrew, nice to see you. And we all know each other from Academy, from way back.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. So basically, the sponsors are going to come from people in your own industry.
I would say that. I had a young woman approach me at the National Speakers Convention a few years back. She says, Jim, how do I find speakers? I said, well, what is your expertise? She said, well, I'm in medical. I said, okay, well, you go to your trade journals and find out, trade magazines, and find out who's advertising heavily. She said, well, like Pfizer? I said, no, Pfizer is look for the newcomers. Look for the people that want their message out there. Pfizer already has recognition. And, look for the people that are going to be the sponsors that are spending the money right now. They're trying to get the recognition. They're trying to break into the market. And right now, I've arrived at a point in the market where people approach me. Jim, can I do a video with you? Can I do a video? I'm getting people approaching me. Okay, building a little audience here. Michael.
Yeah, and Michael, they're all believers. Everybody who's joining us is a believer. And say hello to Michael, who's saying hello. And it's always good when people actually come along and join us. And if you have any questions at all, this is a rare occasion that Jim and I get together. We should do this more often. But Jim is well established throughout the USA, as I say, as a conference organizer, and much more than that, he advises car dealers nationwide and writes for several national magazines, Jim.
I'm a columnist for 3 magazines, and I've spoken at 17 national conventions, and I've spoken at over 98 state automobile dealer conventions as the opening keynote speaker. So I've got a little credential, a little experience.
But it's not, you weren't given it, were you? I mean, you've worked hard to
No. I started out as every great speaker, you have a story. My story starts out broke, depressed, divorced. 1982, my mattress is tied to the roof of an old beat up car, sneaking out of town in the middle of the night. And I became a millionaire within 5 years. And that's every speaker has a story. If you were never down and out, if you were never depressed, or you are not a great speaker. You've got to have that story where you started.
Yeah. And basically, that's what drives you forward. You want to get from where you are, and
people relate to it. The great speakers all have a story that where they started and where they've arrived and where they're headed. I'm not the highest rung on the ladder. There's people above me and people below me. I'm saying to people below me, come on, catch up. In social media, people know if you're a fraud. You can have no envy. I wish that everybody that I interact with achieves more, has more, gets more, does more than I do. I have no envy. And envy, it kills social media. Well, thank you, Michael. He's in Canada, eh? Fail quickly and move on, says Michael.
Yeah, that's it. You make mistakes and you move on from them. Yeah. Right. So let's just talk a minute. Because we're on Be Live. Let's talk about Be Live for a moment. Your experiences, because we've both been since Be Live virtually began October 2016 and through, and we've stayed with the platform, and we have more good days than we have bad days. But what is your take on Be Live at the moment?
Well, as you as you know, you introduced me to Be Live. I found Be Live when Blab died. I was thinking, what am I going to do next?
Yeah.
You know, Facebook Live didn't have what I needed at that time, and I approached my friend Steven Healey, and I said, Steven, what are we doing? And you said Be Live. So I gave the platform a try, and I'd looked at Zoom. I was familiar with Zoom, and I found Zoom was more complicated to operate than I want to do. I make a lot of money with technology, but I am technologically challenged. I know how to drive a car. I don't know how to fix one.
Right. Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So you got me on Be Live, and Be Live approached me about becoming I don't know, something elevated in the Be Live community, but I contracted cancer at that time.
Yes.
You know, and I had a major operation several months back and chemotherapy, and I'm on residual chemotherapy now. So I'm mostly cancer free, and I'm not going to die or anything like that. But, you know, there was a time for months there that I couldn't participate with the Be Live community the way I wanted to. Mm-hmm. Although I have done a tremendous amount of videos with Be Live. I love the platform. I love the new studio. Everything about it is working out really well for me. And I'm playing with the graphics, and I'm watching my friend Steven Healey and catching up on the new technological things that I can add to what I do.
But basically, we're on a voyage of discovery, because live video is changing, and it's changing people's lives. I mean, literally millions of people have taken up live video in the last 3 months, and they've been able to connect with people. Live video, I mean, you're in Georgia, I'm in Wiltshire, but we can connect, and we can talk
all the way across the pond.
That's right, yeah.
Think about it.
It is.
Now, if you recall, I was doing video on Be Live on LinkedIn so many years ago. That was 2007, 2008 that you and I were first becoming friends, if you'll remember.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Yeah.
And I was doing video at that time on LinkedIn, which was alien to most people on the platform.
Right.
You remember I wrote a blog called "Tell Me What You Want, What You Really, Really Want."
I remember that.
And that blog.
Yeah.
That blog had more responses than any blog in the history of LinkedIn. I mean, excuse me, on the history of Academy. And it was amazing because I was doing the video on Academy, and very few people were tuned into it at that time. There was a lot of commentary on it. And exactly. At that time, you had to go get a code and put the code in. I mean, it was.
Yeah. It was. We were there. We were pioneers, and to a certain extent, we still are. Just want to catch up with a couple of comments from Michael. Yeah. Michael's saying Steve is a Jedi Master of Be Live. It's very kind of you to say that, Michael. Thank you. And you're in good hands, young Jim Skywalker. Now, I want to say, today it's me who's in good hands, because Jim is absolutely brilliant, either in person or on video. And his ability, not only to tell the stories that he's involved in, but to get other people to tell their stories is legend. And I enjoy. Thank you. I enjoy watching Jim. If you've not seen Jim broadcast before, then we'll certainly put some links in afterwards, and you can catch up. And basically, when you're actually interviewing, you're interviewing people who are on the road to success, if not already there. Yeah.
It's true, but if you can get high profile people to interview with you, and I attempt to find the high profile people and get them to share my broadcast, and if you have high profile people that have high contact, they know a lot of people, and that expands your future audience, because people will always want to come back if you give them value and content. Content is king. Conversation is great, but you got to give people something that they can take back, tangible, latch on to, and improve their lives, improve their business, improve their family, something.
So giving people something to take away is so important, that it's got to be a part of every broadcast that you do.
It is. I see so many people that have so much talent, but they don't harness it and don't focus it out there. They don't share it. They haven't yet discovered the key to, or get the genie out of the bottle, whatever. But I enjoy helping people. National Speakers Association, for years, I ran the Speakers Academy with new speakers, teaching them how to be speakers, how to be professionals. And at my level, that's reaching down very far to pull people up.
Yeah. In actual fact, that's just triggered a memory. There's a lady called Lottie Hearn. She lives in Ireland. Have you heard of her? That's the first question.
I have not.
All right. Okay. I'll put you in touch with each other after the show, because she's a bundle of energy, and she also was the president of the Irish Public Speakers Association. And
oh yes,
together, there's a group of what happened when all the public speakers from the UK who travel around the world, and they go from country to country, and they stand live in front of audiences of hundreds, if not thousands of people. It just stopped. As you said earlier, conferences just stopped. Live speaking publicly around the world just came to a grinding halt.
Oh, grinding halt.
Yeah. So yeah, they're having to learn new ways. And a lot of them have gravitated towards Zoom as being the answer. But Lottie, bless her, is on Be Live, and she's been on Be Live virtually as long as we have, really. And she's a good friend, and she is connected with the Public Speakers Association in the UK. So it'd be good to put you both in touch.
I am a CSP, which in the Speakers Association is Certified Speaking Professional. It's the highest earned designation in the Speakers Association. And I've been a member of the Speakers Association since 1994.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And it was kind of interesting because I walked into the Speakers Association. I didn't know they existed. And I was already making $1 million annually at the time. Most people come into it as a wannabe speaker. I came into it as an already successful speaker, and it was a little different for the people there. I'd love to meet her. I'd love to know more about her.
Yeah. And right. Okay. And
of course,
do you know
he misspelled Ford? He's misspelled Ford Sachs' name. Sacks. Yeah, I know Ford very well.
Right.
Learn to spell your friend's name there, Michael.
But a connection made, that you've got commonality between yourself and Michael now, and between Canada and the USA, which is always a good thing. So that's good. So one of the things that I did put up on my board in case is, and it's going to show on screen in a minute, building your tribe. How important is it to build a tribe? Because you have a tribe.
Amazing you would mention that.
Sorry?
Amazing you would mention that. My brand is the alpha dog.
Mm-hmm.
Alpha DAWG, Georgia Bulldogs is our team. So Alpha Dog is my logo. You can see it pretty well on my hat here. And I have a group on Facebook and it's a secret group called the Alpha Dog Tribe. 15,000 professional members, and they're all in the automobile industry. And I am the founder of that group. I am the leader of that group. That group has huge, huge loyalty to me and the cause. To build your tribe. Well, interesting you would mention that, because I have several groups on Facebook and they're all called something tribe. Every one of them.
It's important to actually, because we can go live and can meet people, can chat to people and exchange ideas and answer questions. But a broadcast is a one-off. Facebook groups or LinkedIn groups are where all the hard work is done, isn't it?
Yeah, well, LinkedIn is a different animal, and I use both of the platforms for different things. Instagram runs a little younger. Facebook is all over the map. I've got senior citizen groups, all the way down to youthful groups. Andrew just said something. Jim and Steve, you're both very special people. I remember well from Academy. I remember you as well, Andrew. I remember that photo. Is that still the same one you're using?
It goes on. I do miss Academy. Can you imagine if we had this technology back then? I can. I mean, we used to say it'd be good if, and it's come to pass. I mean, this is high quality video, high quality sound. We can talk around the globe, and we wanted it. We could dream of it, but now it's real, and we both make use of it on a very regular basis. And back to Michael.
In 2008, about the time I first met you, I was the keynote speaker for the Fort Sachs. He misspelled the name. I was the keynote speaker in 2008 for the Australian Automobile Dealers Association's annual convention. And I live in Atlanta, Georgia. I had to fly for 20 hours to do that speech. Now, they paid me a tremendous amount of money. It was like $30,000. I had to pay my own airfare out of that, but it was still profitable speech. To travel 30 hours to do a speech and then come back home, cross the international date line twice.
Yep.
Today we have the ability to reach out, and I can amass a huge audience, because what I do with Be Live, Steven, is once I have done the initial broadcast, I download the broadcast into MP4.
Okay. Yep.
And now, as you know, you can broadcast directly into YouTube, or you can broadcast directly into Facebook. I always broadcast directly into Facebook. And I broadcast directly into my social groups.
Right. Yeah.
Which is a lot of people don't realize you can do that. You can broadcast directly into your social groups simultaneously. There's a box on your setup to do that. But I put it on LinkedIn. I put it on several of my other networks that are not necessarily social networks, but on LinkedIn, I will get as many as 20,000 views on a Be Live broadcast that I downloaded to MP4, which once again, you can take it on MP4. You can take it and download the link and download it right to your computer, put it on, and I'll put it on LinkedIn. And like I say, I'll get as many as 20,000 views, and it's amazing. Between LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, you can pick up 30, 40,000 views collectively. Not always. I mean,
I understand. Yes, we need to talk more, Jim. It's always a pleasure when we get together. And just take a comment from Andrew. He's saying yes, and that was in relation to wish we could have done that then. Right.
Oh yes,
okay.
we could have.
So as you said earlier, every show should have a takeaway. And could you give us a takeaway for today, please, Jim, before we actually close? And close the show as well, if you wish, because yeah, I'm no doubt that you know
the takeaway is the value of people. Don't take your people for granted. Like, I visit people in my Facebook, and I'm up to my 5,000. I have to throw people off to let more people in on my personal page. And every day I say good morning to a number of them. I always do birthdays. I always stay in touch with the people. I always touch their profile. How are you doing? Are you sheltered in? Are you safe? Are you healthy? And I'm typing, are you safe? Are you healthy? Everything going well for you? Don't always approach people with your agenda. Think about, what is their agenda? Look at their Facebook. What do they want to do? What are they doing? And I'll comment on that. And by that social interaction, which social media, you will build a loyal following, and it will benefit you, whatever you're trying to achieve with Be Live. And I appreciate Steven Healey no end. This guy has helped me tremendously. He has been a good friend of mine for going on 13 years.
And totally. And I basically, I listen and learn from Jim as well, and have done over the years. And that's what it's all about. It's an exchange of expertise and knowledge, and the ability and the willingness to actually share it with everybody. And as Jim has just said, have the human touch and have a conversation about what your friends want to talk about, not necessarily about your own agenda. Jim, it's been a pleasure as always. Can we do this?
It always is.
Can we do this again next month?
Why don't we?
Okay. So
why don't we? Just tell me when.
I will.
My computer be in the shop the first couple of days of the month, because I'm not going to do it on the laptop, because I'm installing some of that technology you showed me. Now my GPU's got to be upgraded.
Okay. Well, shall we get together around mid-month and
yeah, please.
Right. Okay. We'll be back. Jim and I will be back mid-month in June. To everybody who's out there, take care, and we'll both see you again soon. Thank you.
Andrew, Michael, goodbye.
And thank you to Andrew and Michael for all the comments. Take care.